How we doing, folks? Welcome to another year of Prep Insider Preview videos. I'm Jason Blakeney. This is not DC Reeves. Brady Aymond joining us this year from Lafayette, Louisiana. So give him a big welcome or a smack in the kisser, whatever you got to do.
Whatever it is. We're going to do one.
Either one?
Yeah.
All right. All right. First game of the week, obviously the biggest game of the week. PHS playing host to Tallahassee Lincoln, 2009 Class 3A champ, 2010 Class 4A champ. It's going to be a rumble. Brady's going to be here. What do you think?
It's a great game to start the season, and it's kind of, I guess a good way for me to break into the area. Get one of the better programs, one of the more tradition-rich programs in the area, obviously in PHS, and then another team that is, it has a lot of statewide, attention in Lincoln. And like you said, you mentioned the 2009 3A state champion in PHS, the 2010 state champion, the defending state champion in 4A in Lincoln. Both teams ranked in the top 10. Obviously, both teams are very explosive, dynamic athletes on both sides of the ball, size on both sides of the ball. A ton of college prospects in this game, and two very good coaching staffs. And that to me is going to be the great matchup, is that you got two great coaching staffs and two teams with a bunch of athletes that kind of like to do the same thing. So there's going to be areas where they're going to neutralize each other and they're going to equal out in some areas. But I think it's going to be a fantastic game, and they're going to have, like I said, just talent all over the field. And just what a great way to start off the season for PHS, that they're moving up, from I guess what would have been 5A this year to 6A, and ranked number 2 in the state. So this is an opportunity for them to kind of prove themselves and kind of go out in that first game and make a statement and say, look, we belong. We can play with these big boys, and kind of strut their stuff in that first game.
Yeah, and we talked to Demarius Travis, senior defensive back for PHS, about exactly that, moving up to the 6A class from what would be 5A. Last year it was called 3A, but moving up from 5A to 6A. And he said, the Tigers were ready to go.
I mean, it is. I mean, we just gonna have to play. Go out there and play everybody that we can. And really mean, all because we moved up don't mean nothing. We still gonna play our hardest.
And we talked to PHS coach Mike Bennett about the rivalry. They used to play this game all the time. Scheduling got a little difficult the last few years. Escambia County now has the mandate that if you have an open week with another Escambia County school, you have to play that Escambia County school. So with those mandates in place, it's a little tough. And we just talked to him about the matchup a little bit.
For athlete, they're extremely well coached. The guys they can run, they can block, they can tackle. They do a great job. So it's going to be a heck of a football game. The last 4 years we've opened up with Pine Forest, so it's very similar teams. I like playing a big-time game, the first game of the year. You have all summer to get ready for it, and I just think it makes you better down the road.
Moving on, 7 o'clock, Gulfbreeze going out of town, playing Walton. They're in that new spread offense. They have a year under their belt with it. Mitchell DeCozen coming back, stud running back, new quarterback, new receivers. What do you think?
I think this is a good test for them, and it's going to give them an opportunity to see where they are as far as a year later. They put up big numbers last year, but the one number that they didn't put up was the wins. They're kind of hoping that'll happen this year, and they'll get their chance tonight where they go and play Walton, a team that's pretty decent. I think it's a good matchup, and they have a chance to go over there and do well.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they can play some defense, keep those points down, and give the offense a chance to win some games for them. St. Charles, Louisiana, coming over here, playing Tate. Aggies, new spread offense, quick tempo. What do you expect from Tate tonight?
Well, I think that we're going to see a lot of what we saw last week in the preseason game. There's going to probably be some early game jitters, and they're not taking on a team as good as PHS, but they're taking on a team that has that tradition. They've played for state titles in Louisiana before, and they're going to come with 90-something kids and be ready to play. It's going to be a tough test, but like you said, Tate's got that spread going. They can kind of get it going early in the third quarter, fourth quarter. You never know what could happen, but it's going to be a tough game for them.
Also tonight, 7 o'clock at Woodham Middle School. Escambia going over, playing on West Florida High's home field. Jalen Jones back, athletic team back, Kyle Faxlinger back. What does West Florida have to do to win this game?
Well, obviously no turnovers. That's the number one thing. Every time that they've been hurt, it's been turnovers, and I think has some success early. That's the thing that program's lacking is confidence right now. They can have some success early. They could possibly pull this one out.
All right, and it'll help if they can go ahead and find a way to get around those big behemoths on that.
Scambia is really big, yeah.
Man, they are huge, I tell you. All right, Rocky Bayou, kind of a fledgling program. I think it's 4th year in their existence. They're going to Jay. Jay playing without Connor Weeks, will be out this week. They're starting quarterback. What do you expect from Jay? Can they go out and win this game?
I think they can. I mean, I think what they'll do is they'll try to put the ball in Ricky Cofield's hands and let him run. You know, last week he had 123 yards in a preseason game. I like this matchup for Jay. I think this is a good game for them to play right off the bat. An 0-10 program, kind of wanting to get back on even footing. I think they'll take the win and they'll kind of get some confidence out of it.
Yeah, Kent Smith's first game there after coming up from Pace. Another first-year head coach, Chafin Marsh over there at Milton. They're hosting Crestview tonight, 7:30 at Milton High School. What do you see from Milton? Can they go out and compete with Crestview, a playoff team from last year?
I think they can compete with them. The key is offensively, can they move the football? Defensively, they showed the preseason classic that they could stop. You know, they can stop teams. They held Navarre to 6 points. It's going to be offensively. They're starting a sophomore quarterback. They're going to have a little bit of consistency on offense and not having turnovers. I think they can compete with them. It's just a matter of keeping those mistakes to a minimum.
Yeah, Paul Young, the projected starting quarterback for them, out of the lineup, had surgery a couple weeks ago. He won't be back for a few weeks. So that'll be interesting to watch there. Can they get the ball in the air? Can they get it to Isaiah Jones, who may be one of the best athletes in the area?
No doubt.
Huge kid. So we'll see. That'll be interesting. All right, Choctaw going to Catholic. Choctaw, another playoff team from last year. Catholic loses a lot of players. Can they play at the same level with all those guys gone?
I think they can. I think they showed that last week against Pine Forest. You know, it was a 14-7 game, and they had several projected starters that missed the game due to injury. I think having this game at home is going to definitely help Cat. I think they have a tradition, and those kids believe they can win. I think they come out, firing on all cylinders in that first game.
All right, Navarre going to Washington. You know, if Navarre was in the big 1-6A district, instead they're in 2-6A, this would have been a district game. What do you see from the Raiders playing without Colton Kane?
Well, they struggled last week offensively, but they got those two big weapons in Dwayne Carter and Brad Leggett. Washington played a similar team in Niceville last week, a team that spread it out. They didn't have that much success against them the first 2 drives, but they started to get into a groove. It could be a very interesting matchup if Washington has made those improvements from last week.
Finally, the last game on the schedule is Saturday.
Yeah.
Pine Forest going to Jonesboro, Georgia, which is right outside of Atlanta, taking on Columbia, Georgia, part of the Georgia-Florida Challenge. You don't know a whole lot about these Georgia teams, and that's one of the interesting things about going and playing in something like this is you get to see a new team. But we know Pine Forest is going to be Pine Forest. What do you expect from the Eagles?
I think the Eagles will go up there and take care of business. So, obviously, Columbia is a team that was in the playoffs last year, so this is not going to be a walkover. But this will give Pine Forest an idea of where they kind of stack up, this early in the season with all those juniors they have on the field for them right now.
It'll be very interesting seeing them without Lucas Purifoy, Mr. Everything for them last year. Rashad Lee definitely back. Got a couple of new kids running the football. So it'll be interesting to see how things go over there.